Hello everybody, welcome back to Trash Comps. Today I bring you the Dark Application team. The main goal of this one is to have no Sharp. So in the latest patch they offer, like a month and a half ago, they made it so that you have this new enchantment or thing that you can apply, debuff I should call it, called Scourge, and it makes it so that dark explosions do more damage as well as spread to the sides of monsters and a few other things. Navalea is really good at taking advantage of Scourge, and Zek and Mulaka are really good at applying dark. Now Navalea is not bad at applying dark herself, though I think Zek and Mulaka have a bit better perks for it, to be honest. But Navalea, what she can do is apply a ton of Scourge and make it so that Scourge can stack eventually, meaning that your dark explosions can start doing 100 to 200% damage, which is really good because the only thing that affects dark explosion damage are some specific perks like Zek's and vulnerability, like how much damage they can take from dark. So usually, because dark lowers the resistance of the monster, it's better to have more dark apply and then make them explode, unless you really need them to explode faster. But generally it's better to lower the resistances with all the shadow so you can get up to the shadow limit, which is normally 25, but there's a few things in the game like Dark 1 and other perks that can make it so it goes a bit higher on monsters before it explodes, thus reducing their shadow resistances even further and causing the damage to do more. Ideally you want that negative 95% to explode them. So without further ado, let's go. My path this time is pretty set. I've never been on the path in terms of land 2 that I'm going here. Let's talk about the perks really quick. So I have some money perks, I needed those. I have slow on Zek. I had sharp on him, which I don't need because like I said, I'm not going sharp. Normally that's the way that I would win with shadows. Shadow damage. I don't think this build has ever been viable before this patch. I've tried dark application and it just did not work. One, you have one less character to work with that is decent at applying it, and two, it just didn't do enough damage and there weren't enough ways for it to scale into the late game, where monsters just have tons of HP and your non-scaling damage can't keep up, even though you're applying dark more rapidly. It just doesn't really work out too well. It's good as supplementary damage normally, but not as the main source of damage. But in this run, it'll be the main source of damage. Or at least it should be, I think. I don't know, I didn't check the combat stats at the end, but, well, I did check the combat stats, I just don't remember checking that for that specifically. Anyways, I went through all those perks very quickly. Hopefully you saw a bit of the... Zek's going to be the one who has the Inspire perk, where he draws one extra card. No, Mulaka is. Mulaka is the one who gets one extra card per Inspire, but can only have one Inspire ever. Slippers is nice. I wasn't planning to do any speed manipulation. In fact, I made sure to slow down the entire team so that Zek has 0 speed. Mulaka I think has 2 and Nezglekt has 3, so that Nezglekt always goes first, then Mulaka goes, then Zek goes. So that was the main goal. And Navalea is at 15 speed because I have 1 speed invested in her. She could get up to 17, which would actually make pretty big difference on this run. Like, I didn't think I was going to be going speed manipulation, but the slippers changed my mind. Thankfully, I'm able to change my perks and make it so I could get 1 extra fast for Navalea, and ideally speed the team up in the end too. The other thing I forgot to go over is, the other thing I want to go over is we have some sight scaling cards for dark application, so I wanted to try that out. Malicious Eye is a good free way to apply dark, though you do have to watch out for applying dark to yourself too much because that can definitely happen. Dark Blows, unfortunately, I found to be very bad with Navalea. I mean, they cost 2, and they only hit the front if you upgrade them towards the more dark path. So I didn't think they were that good. I have a bit of frost on them, on Navalea and Zek as well, because I'm hoping to slow down the team. And I'm giving, I'm also giving the enemy team so that we can go first on the second round and get that sort of turn advantage that way. But here I'm messing with my perks, getting that speed, that fast up. I wanted to make sure that I had sight on everybody though, so that we could scale better with sight. So I made sure to get at least one charge of that for Mulaka and Navalea and Zek, whereas Nezglekt has one charge of that as well, but he also is going to have the perk that when anybody applies sight to a monster, they lose stealth, because I figured that could come up fairly often, and we do have some marking, so it's possible for us to keep stealth off that way, but Nezglekt's very good with his second level skill. But yeah, here's the dark build at work. We're focusing on the corn because they were gonna snare some people, and I was able to kill it before it went. So pretty good overall. Not a bad first round. We actually killed 2 enemies, so doing a little bit better than that holy team from last week. Yeah. Nezglekt is a very good support. I don't know that there's too much to say outside of that. Like, he applies Insanity, which we're definitely going to need. This team was rough. Like, in terms of having to balance out how many heals I could get, it was going to be a bit rough. There's a Piercing Howl. Like, finally I get Piercing Howls. Bad Augury, purple, hits all monsters. It's just fantastic for Mulaka, because she does Dark Application on hit, so really nice early purple to get. But yeah, we are taking quite a bit of damage, and we're not quite healing all the way. This isn't like the best healing team. Mulaka and Nezglekt have really good heals passively, so that they can deal damage and heal at the same time, which is really good. Like, you can see that we're doing some decent damage with having a sort of a triple carry situation. I mean, honestly, all these people are doing damage. Like, Nezglekt's doing damage, just not as much, and his damage has utility of Insanity, lowering the monster's damage. Zek is just built for damage. That's all he's really doing. And Mulaka, I gave her the extra dark charges so that she could get her dark application off even higher and give us a little bit more healing. Because I figured that was most important on her. Thinking about it later, I probably could have not had the dark damage as like poison. I don't think my run would have been too much worse for it. So if I was going to make any other optimization to this, I would have given Navalea, instead of the poison dark, where dark does damage at the end of the monster's turn, I would give her the +1 more dark charge, because that would have made a substantial difference in blowing people up. I didn't feel like the poison helped out too much of the time. Actually, sometimes it even hurts, because you have a monster go, do all its damage, and then die, and then you don't get to heal. So, yeah. Anyways, now this was a really cool opportunity as well. We got the option for a purple Dark Pact. I was a little bit worried whether I could do it, do the challenge. The challenge is a pretty easy one. It's the mushroom goes on top of your deck where you lose an energy and stuff. But it's not that... rather, fights can be hard in the beginning, and this team wasn't feeling very stable. As you can see, we're getting to pretty low health, and we're not healing a whole ton. Nezglekt's probably our best at healing, and like, because he AoE heals the whole team. And Mulaka is better at the single target heal, once she has heal. Like, I made sure I have some heal perks on her as well. And it still doesn't feel like it's quite enough, though we are healing back some of the damage that was done. And hopefully we can deal damage fast enough that we survive. I was able to pop the boar, and see, the wolf just got to go, but unfortunately didn't do any damage, so it died there. Shadow Bolt's interesting, doing dark application based on your dark, but I don't think it's that good. We do capture the farmer. My end game here, one, I wanted to get Betty. I saw the Betty option. But I was going to go capture the farmer regardless. So I go for the combat here because I want more card rewards. Sorry, going really quick, but this fight should be easy. It's just pigs. So I wanted to get Betty because Betty applies Insanity to the entire team. Just a generally good way to get more damage off, as well as a lot more heals for Nezglekt. Not to mention the reduction in damage on all the monsters does help. So Betty's a really good option. I had the ability to get it, so I bought Betty early. We have the Mark pet as well, as you can see, because I was like planning to do a different kind of run, but I was like, Navalea both has the slippers and the Mark as Modi. I believe he's called, where I can slow them down. So ideally I can get purple Asmodee, and then we just slow down the entire enemy team and we can kind of speed manipulate our way to victory. So yeah, I wish she was a little bit faster, and maybe I should have changed her perks to be as such, but I was also very nervous about how much damage she would take being in the front line, so I wanted to keep some resistance perks on her, at least the ones that I had, because it was very important that she survive, since the rest of our team is very glass cannony, extremely squishy. Yeah, what was I saying before this? Ooh, man, I don't even remember. But yeah, Bad Augury, see, great, we're playing a bunch of Sight. Sight also procs the Nezglekt healing. Sorry, I'm also going into this run like expecting everybody to have an idea of these characters. Maybe I should go into it a little bit further. That's fine. Everybody who watches this knows all the characters, right? We'll see. If not, we'll learn a little bit as the run goes on, even though things are happening very, very quickly. So yeah, our dark application is really working out. We are able to apply enough to pop people a lot of the time. Detoxify can be pretty good, so I'm debating whether I want that or not, but I feel like we're not really in the situation where we're grinding too much. I do get a nice level up here, at least on the two people who succeeded getting in through the door. So I'm able to pick up the perk for Navalea and for Mulaka. Navalea's perk, by the way, is dealing more damage the lower HP she's at. I think it also does something else, but that's the core of it, which is cool, but I don't think I'll be taking advantage of it as much as I did on the Blunt run, where Blunt Crack was going off. Because that one was pretty good. Bree was also really good there, though. Bree's a very good carry if you don't have her B Sport. Anyways. Yeah, so this fight was a bit tough. He's got a really good amount of shatter resistance, but I found I'm pretty consistently able to get through this fight. I did have to try this run like 2 or 3 times. One, because I didn't know where I was going, and I kind of figured out where I was going later. And then 2, because I just didn't make optimal decks to begin with. I don't think this is optimal right now, but it's definitely better than what I started with in terms of my actual deck composition for all my characters. Navalea's card is an enchantment that lasts 12 hits, where when she deals damage, she applies Frost, and I believe extra Dark as well. I'm going for the full Dark build, so Nezglekt's going to be applying that Terror to monsters, where they have minus 20% resistances, which, remember, very important for Dark explosions doing more, as well as every time they take a hit, they get Insanity, and more Dark is applied. So, it's pretty cool. I really like how synergistic this all is. Plus, with the amount of sight that we're giving off on all our characters, because we are going to be taking the sight damage dark application cards anyways, gives Nezglekt a better chance to heal, and we can eventually get that scaling card I talked about. Well, try to mention it when it comes up. We will have problems with people that resist dark too much, because there's only so much that we can apply vulnerability and stack dark up to. But for now, we're killing about 2 people a turn on average. Like, it seems pretty consistent. So that's enough for us to stay in the game. Not exactly comfortably, but at least we're there. Nezglekt's a little bit weird because you don't want to like kill as you get him. Disarm thankfully didn't really affect us too much, and hey, we're able to heal up with Mulaka, who played a healing rain to pop everybody's dark right there. Her little yin yang worked pretty well, which actually, by the way, is the way to go if you want better dark application. Her other enchantment that she puts on herself, ooh, that critical success. Yeah, I did a critical success here. Sorry, I did the shirts for shards here. I'm going to cut myself off because that was a decent chance of a critical success where you actually get items at this area. You don't at all areas where you get a critical success at the camp when you search for shards. So it's pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. Anyways, as I was saying, Mulaka. Ooh, what was I saying? Oh, man. Anyways, there's Scourge applied on the Priestess right there, who can summon imps. It's actually not too bad to leave this Super Dryad alive. Now, she did Dispel and get rid of all the dark, which I wasn't expecting. I should have just killed the Fire Priestess when I had the chance. But it's not she's not as bad as, like, the other Dryad, who just constantly, like, casts Starfall or heals the entire team. So I honestly find that the Super Dryad is easier than just like leaving a regular Dryad alive. That said, I guess I will just kill her because I can. But yeah, shoot, I cut myself off when I was looking at the chest. But anyways, I got a really good ring out of it that ups the Shadow and Blunt and Frost of Navalea and ups her resistances, so pretty cool. There's another Piercing Howl. I'm like, man, I'll pick up these Piercing Howls because I want to apply as much vulnerability as possible to the entire enemy team. Terrorize needs an energy cost reduction. I don't think it's worth taking. I don't think it's like ever worth taking. I've experimented with it. I've tried it out. Purging the courage is nice, but it doesn't come up very often, and the card just, even on this team where like I'm doing insanity, I want insanity and I want dark application, and that's like it. I don't think it's good. It's just too expensive. So yeah, I wish they made it better. Don't quite get the kill on that wolf there. A little bit unfortunate. And Zek is in trouble. He's got taunt on him too, so he will die if the Yogurt boss gets to go again. I'm like not sure I'm gonna be able to kill him though, so I'm just not going for him really. That was a misclick, by the way. I wanted to get Yogurt to have 5 more dark on him. I don't remember if it actually ends up mattering, but I remember misclicking and being upset. No, the 5 more dark wasn't gonna make a difference. Or was it? No, actually, I think it totally would have made. No, wait, he doesn't get to go again. So yeah, the rat does get to survive. It's very, very close. I'm looking to get as much healing as I can out of this because I got to fight the tree next. Now, Vampiric Touch is interesting. It does apply Dark, and it does apply Decay, which Decay, by the way, I did take the perk on Mulaka. Shoot. Going so fast. There's another speed ring. I'm like, man, I need this so Nezglekt can go faster. Because I wanted to take it on Navalea so that she could go faster, but I'm like, nah, I'll get a better ring. Nezglekt should go faster. Anyways. I need to heal before the tree. Thankfully, I got a success. Just barely cleared that 5. I took transmission as well in Navalea because I wanted to make sure we had enough energy. It's nice to have mages on the team to get that energy, like in a lot more efficient fashion. And I just don't think like scouts or warriors give it to each other at all. They give it to themselves, but just not each other. God, man, I am cutting myself off because the footage is playing so fast. I'm forgetting what I was saying. You know what? I think for now on, I'm just gonna like continue with my train of thought, and if the new thing happens and it's really important, so be it. I'll just skip it. But yeah, we're doing good damage to the tree. The tree, these all have really high shadow resistance, so it's a little bit scarier, but thankfully the amount of dark that we're applying and the amount of vulnerability that we have seems to be enough so that they take significant damage from the explosion. It's about like 100 a pop, or close to there. I was saving the tree trunk in front just so I could do the pop back and forth between to do the dark explosion, and we get it. We get the excellent. This team is way faster at killing than the holy team, which feels pretty great. I wish Spectral Missiles was on Nezglekt, and I wish the Ruin Bolt was on Mulaka, but it's fine. I was looking at skills there to see if Clear Instructions was worth it for Zek, and it could be, but it might not be a lot of the time, so I opted not to take it. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, Mulaka gets a little bit of a healing thing, and Yelmer's Branch. Honestly, the gold might have been more worth it, but Yelmer's Branch isn't bad because it applies more regen. I'm debating what is actually a better act to go to second. I'm not entirely sure where the Fists of the Damned are. They do apply more charges, but I actually am more interested in the Holy Hammer, which I do know where that symbol is, even though I've never gotten it before. I looked at the maps and I saw the symbol, so I was able to find the item that way, and then I saw that the pyramid's in the same symbol, so I figured there's more dark things in this area of Act 2, plus I wanted to visit this area again. I get some really good items here. I'm like debating whether I want to stop the speed manipulation, go breastplate, and make sure Navalea just survives because she's getting super close to dying very, very often, and it's scaring me. QB, Dark QB, pretty worth it here. I have more dark application. I gave it to Mulaka rather than Zek because I wanted more heals because I was feeling light on the heals. Nezglekt getting Mind Tome is very nice because you draw a spell whenever you, or Magic Tome, sorry. Yeah, anyone could have benefited off of Magic Tome, but Navalea I know is going to be taking the hammer, or at least I feel like it at this point, so I don't want to switch up her weapon, or give her the weapon that I'm just going to trade out later. So, yeah. That's about that. Mental Shakes I'm getting rid of. I got rid of the 2 upgraded ones first, but thankfully I could still get rid of the unupgraded one. They're better damage, raw damage, but I'm looking for more of the Insanity application and heals from Nezglekt rather than anything else. As for my deck, Dark Packs, I wasn't able to play too frequently with Zek because it just does too much damage and I take too much Dark, so I'm opting to get rid of some of those damaging cards. I get rid of 1 Mana Shield. Keeping 1 in the deck has been nice because I've been able to basically stay alive and take less damage fight to fight than I otherwise would have. I upgrade those Piercing Hells because I do need to do that. There's probably better cards I could get right now. I'm just like, I'm not remembering them during the run. Vile Lance, it's been nice having sort of pocket slow on Mulaka, but at the end of the day, Black Karmas are better for applying Dark, so I'd rather keep those. Now I have a lot of shards left over. I was actually very lucky. I wanted to try out Dark Feature. There's that Dark application. Does 0.5 shadow damage and Dark application per sight on the target. So if they have 100 sight on them, they're going to be taking 50 shadow damage and 50 Dark, which 50 Dark is a ton. I was very excited to try that out and get that going. I also have it so that sight can't be removed unless it's specifically targeted. But yeah, so that was sort of the core. As I was like, Dark Future is a very interesting card. It does disappear, unfortunately. It gets out of the deck. Now I could have kept the damage one instead, which honestly might have been worth it. I wasn't really expecting like to try that out, but I wanted this to be the dark dark application run, not the like raw damage like run. That would be pretty good. So yeah, so far I'm liking it. I'm liking a lot of the new cards that they added, making this feel a lot better. Maybe I don't have a lot of heal perks on Mulaka looking at her. She just doesn't seem like she heals too much. I'm keeping one of my Malicious Eyes on Zek where it doesn't apply Dark to him because I found myself getting very close to popping. And I know that there's going to be more creatures and things that apply Dark to our heroes. So I'm like, yeah, I probably should be playing it safe. I did get rid of my last starting card, the punching card that Navalea starts with, and then I'm trying to think about what I should really get with her. I'm like, now that I'm a speed manipulation, I figure slow would be really good. Curse of Fragilities, I like that they're in the deck. They do stop the or they do add to a little bit of damage, just so that with their mark, just so that Mulaka, when she attacks, can actually hit the enemy, because if she doesn't do damage to the enemy, she doesn't apply Dark with her level 3 passive. So it's a really important aspect. Again, I've never been this route before, so I'm looking at these and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Meteor is very scary. I don't think I can do it, even if I'm speed manipulating. I bought Scroll Speed also, just so I can adjust one person's speed as needed. Often it's going to be Nezglekt, but there are times where it changes to, I think, everybody. I think it changed, yeah, Mulaka's, Zek's, and Nezglekt's speed interchangeably, depending on the run, which is the nice thing about speed manipulation, or depending on the fight, not the run. There's only one run. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Mulaka, she has the Decay perk, where they lose 8% shadow resistance for every decay charge they have on them. So that's another way we're going to be lowering the enemy's resistances and just doing that shadow damage. It's going fairly well so far. Most things are having negative damage by the time they pop, which is pretty good. And yeah, Vengeance is the card that Navalea has. It's decent, but it does take just her HP, and like it's a percentage of the HP she has, not her max HP. So she'll never die from it, but it is really rough to do at full HP. I did find myself often doing it when I felt like I had enough heals. I'm gonna let that guy go and explode himself. So there, the poison was useful. Poison Dark, I'm keeping track of when Poison Dark is useful or not. Expected Prophecy is a really good card on Nezglekt because you can essentially play it for free with his passive. And it gives him he draws 3 and puts 1 back on top of his deck, so very good all around for getting card advantage and being able to fix your top of your deck. Yeah. This girl is scary. I'm like, I was trying to remember if she was the silence person or not, and I think she is. So she needs to die. Thankfully, I feel like we're pretty fast at popping people that we need to. We're going to have to really depend on Mulaka and Zek for that, but they are the two better ones at it. There we go. We got Mulaka's really good starting card, so we got that 7 vulnerability off on her. So she should be taking quite a bit from Dark Explosions. She has a bit of sight on her, so she could take more from that as well. There's also the option to slow her, because she isn't silencing right away. But why slow her when you can just kill her? That Jade Scarab, I don't have anything to do with. I don't know. Like, I can't kill that. It's got so much buffer. I think I tried to kill it here. Yeah, I put the terror on it. Man, that's a really rough thing. Sorry, I reacted late to that. But yeah, that Jade Scarab just like showed up to taunt me. I was feeling fairly comfortable because I took out the scariest threat and like man, what if I can kill it though? You know, like what if it just dies? What if Zek can do enough damage to pop it? I'm sure I can do this. Oh boy. But then I don't commit all the way. I don't add the Scourge to it, which I feel like I might have needed to. Let's find out. No, I didn't need to. I needed the... Oh, dude. I don't know if you saw that whole play, but like... So the Scourge, when they explode in dark, it spreads the dark charges around. And yeah, that blew up the owl in front. Then I was able to use the back and forth dark application Zek starting card, the really, really good one. I forget what it's called, but anyways, very, very strong. Pop the whole team there. This, I didn't know what the Corruption Orb did. I'm like, oh man, Corruption Orb, like we're kind of corrupted people. We're the dark. We should probably do this, but 28 max HP is a lot. So I went for 12 on everybody, and then I saw that it leads to that altar. But that altar is on the split path away from the melee weapon that I want. Now, I did fill the Oasis earlier, and the guy was like, hey, tell the shop up ahead that you filled the Oasis, and you can get probably a discount or something. They're like, they'll want to know. And I was like, cool, I'll do that. I don't know if picking Navalea's option would actually be better there, though. If anybody knows, just let me know in the comments. That'd be very useful for any future dark application runs or frost application or crack, I think. Like, yeah, gosh, that hammer just does everything. It's great. It applies that all on hit. So let me know. Oh, by the way, the other thing that's really keeping me afloat in this run is the Curse of Exhaustions that Zek has. One, it's nice that they're curses because I need them to be. Two, it's been helping apply 3 slow instead of the normal, like 2 slow that you get from Piercing Hell, which has made the difference quite a few times between Nezglekt and Mulaka going first or Zek going first. So Zek's been helping out with the whole speed manipulation thing. Even if Navalea doesn't quite get us going faster, we are generally able to go before these monsters round 2, or at least some of the monsters that I want to kill, like this big boy right here. Unfortunately, Zek wasn't able to go before him, so I had to take that damage. But yeah, Cursomancy, very good. That black scythe or whatever that Zek just popped, very good. I took way more damage than I thought there. I think I exploded on dark and then like got dark again. So I need to heal up, but they have too much dark on them for Mulaka to heal them up. So I just have to apply maximum insanity, maximum sight, and I know Zek's gonna kill them. Tome of Intellect's not a bad card for upgrading. Navalea is kind of turning more into the support role. I don't want, like, I want Unholy Storm, but I don't want like a bad Unholy Storm. I don't know. I want like the upgraded Holy Storm. So I don't know if Ahem, tell your people I forgive you all would be better, or if the shop option where you filled the Oasis is better, but I get a 15% discount. And I made sure to bring gold so that I could afford Holy Hammer, because look, on hit, going to be applying a 5 dark and 3 frost, and I realized that Zek is applying more frost than Navalea. Most of the time he's also hitting more, so I give it to Zek. Because Zek needs an on-hit dark application. It's very good. I wish I could afford the Black Pyramid just for the little extra dark application on a potion slot, but I didn't bring enough money. I wasn't aware of how much it was going to cost. I probably could have thought about that a little bit more if I looked at the rarity of the items. Still, the Pyro guy is very scary to me. The guy in back, yeah, sorry, I recognize there's two pyro guys. The champion version that has 433 health, he's very scary because he does his huge pyro ball, and I'm fairly certain that will just kill Navalea, at least on round 2. He also like speeds himself up pretty crazily, usually, so I don't want to deal with that. The mummy, I just like don't really know what he does, so I opted to let him live, and he's not actually too scary. He's more of like a bruiser tank than anything else. So unlike some of the other guys like that are really scary, I don't find the mummy as too rough unless he goes again on round 2. Then he's really scary. But round 1 he's totally fine. I feel like I'm contradicting myself there, but like, you know what I mean. Like, you got priority targets for round 1 and then priority targets for round 2. You just gotta deal with those. But yeah, we actually managed to heal up quite a bit in that fight. I almost debated taking Battle Shout, but Battle Shout, like, being powerful isn't gonna up my damage. So, why take it? Here we get a success, we get some shards, it's really nice. And then we fight the Great Sandworm boss. Yeah. He's not really resistant to dark. He takes a lot of damage. At this point, we're doing a lot of damage. We did get our level up. So we have dark application on hit for Mulaka now. And now we also have it on Zek. Baptism. Oh man, purple baptism. I'm like, we have healing rains. Like, for Zek, sorry, not for Zek, for Nezglekt, it costs 1 to play that 2 energy thing, you know, because he gets a 1 energy refund. And so I'm like, even if we only have like 6 wet on us, and that's not assuming that like other people put wet on us, like this champion version of the beaver is going to do. Even if we have like 6 wet on us, that's a 1 cost for like 6 bless on the entire team. I'd say that's pretty good. Now, this beaver put 15 wet on all of us. I'm like, man, if I could have only drawn the blessed card now, that would be huge. But sadly, I don't get it. And I think like the beaver changes your wet into like frost or something the turn after, so it's not very good. The purple dark pact, by the way, doing huge amounts of damage. It's been a very good pickup early on. I feel like I got like a little bit lucky with my early card picks. Not like terribly lucky. Oh, there we go. Actually, we do get the bless off. Yeah, look at that. 14, 15 bless on Zek and Mulaka. So good. Mulaka's applying that dark now, so we're getting heals off. Zek popped himself on dark with his own passive that applies dark to everything. Nezglekt gets Mind Twist. I really wish the purple Deja Vu. So Deja Vu. Deja Vu is a strategy I'm going to be going with for Nezglekt, because I realized that, like, I saw it during the previous Holy Warrior run. I didn't get to say, I can't show what it does. Okay, but anyways, it deals X mind damage and applies X insanity equal to your vanish pile. It also vanishes, but then it shuffles 2 Deja Vu, and the purple one does it into your deck. Now, purple cards always vanish, and Deja Vu always vanishes, but because it's constantly putting cards into your deck, it's actually like able to stack up super quick. So if I had gotten that purple Deja Vu on Nezglekt, that would have been incredible. Like, fantastic. But no, sadly that's not the case. I am still looking to get Deja Vus in Nezglekt's deck, though. I get salty over that a little bit here. I mouse over it several times to show how salty I am. Ah, man. So yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, Deja Vu is my strategy for Nezglekt going forward, because I'm like, yeah, I will have a lot of Vanish cards in his deck, and I will be able to pop and apply a bunch of Insanity. Sorry, I will just be able to apply a bunch of Insanity with the Deja Vus. So it's pretty good. I'm not, like, sure what I need to do here. I think I need to kill that, like, guy. I'm trying to figure out, like, the most efficient way to kill him. I also need to keep guys alive for, like, bounce cards. But we are able to apply that 4 Scourge to him. Navalea's, like, Scourge up has been very useful. And, yeah, we get, like, up to 87 Insanity with Nezglekt. Man, he's doing great. That nerfing on all their damage, by the way, is super helpful for keeping this squishy team alive, especially against AoE attacks. Entomb is not really a good card. Shadow Binding is a very interesting card because it applies a shackle to all monsters, and since I'm going speed manipulation, I figure that'll help a lot. So, yeah. I opt for that. Raven Staff is great. It ups Nezglekt's Dark and Mind damage, but it also applies Sight and Insanity on hit, so I have like 2 on-hit weapons. On-hit weapons are the best weapons in the game, by the way. Burial Mask is a decent armor, so I actually want to give it to Zek because Malaka has a somewhat decent armor in the purple reinforced leather. I saw that I could use the Dark Orb at another altar, so I'm hoping I can use it on the Act 4 altar as well, the Corruption Bell. This shop is insane. This shop is incredible. Mainly because of Yin Yang badge. Sapphire Ring would be very welcome here too. But yeah, Yin Yang badge is most of all I need, and if every dark charge you apply Sanctify, and now I'm like, okay, there is a good way to get heals. Like, we were having a little bit of trouble healing before. The only question is, who do I give the every dark charge they apply get Sanctify? Who should I do that on? Oh, I'm looking at my abilities there, so yeah. Get the Dark Legacy, we get the other stuff. Man, I should pause at the right time. Gotta be ready on the dot with that. But yeah, this is going to be giving us a much better way to heal up our team because we apply a ton of dark, and anything that survives these dark charges or applications, which, you know, hint hint, is basically all bosses, which we have to do this several times over on. They're going to have now a bunch of Sanctify, and we're going to heal to full health every time we hit them. So, and every single one of our team members hits, so we don't even have to worry about like keeping one of them alive through other means. There's Deja Vu for Nezglekt. I opt for the one that puts 2 cards into your discard pile instead of 1 card into your deck. Yeah, the purple one that puts 2 into your deck and not your discard pile. Oh god, that would have been so good. Deep Darkness is a curse spell. It's double dark. It's going to be very, very good. I am looking at getting Black Hand. I want to get a push forward as well for Navalea now that I'm going like the speed up strategy, but I didn't feel like it was quite necessary. And I felt like getting it in Act 4 will be fine. Mind Twist doesn't really have any good upgrades. Like, honestly, a blank version of Mind Twist is about as good. Mind Visions could be worth it if I apply a lot more Sight. I wasn't applying a ton of Sight yet, so I wasn't sure that it was worthwhile, but I think actually it was. Yeah, it's just hindsight's 2020. Mind Visions would have been good. Should have kept one of those in the deck, but I was really excited about the Deja Vu strategy, and I really wanted to like see how far that went. So I'm going to get more just Deja Vus in Nezglekt's deck, and he can draw through his deck pretty fast with all the expected prophecies. Drawing you 2 essentially, or net 2 cards per turn. I go take the ship, or not take the ship, I go just towards the ship. We're going towards the sewers because we want to kill the Rat King, and we want to get his black deck, which is going to be huge for this run. Absolutely huge. Man. So we just took a decent amount of damage there. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty typical. Like, you know, going into a new act, you get hurt real bad. What I did not realize was that priest right next to the archer, between the heron and the archer, he's immune to dark. Making this challenge that I took actually a lot more meaningful than I thought it was going to be. Like, I knew some of these guys had dark resistances and they're going to have good resistance overall. But being immune to dark is a huge problem for this team. Like, I actually, like, can't believe they have a basic enemy that's like that. And I don't think he was like that in Act 2, so he might just get that buff in Act 3. Which is, like, an insane buff, because, dude, he can show up at random in Madness 16 and, like, he's just killing us. Like, he applies dark to our team, and we're already applying dark to ourselves, so... My main goal is to kill the rest of the team and hopefully deal with him with whatever meager damage I have afterwards. I'm like now really hoping for that baptism to pay off. I'm gonna need it to. So yeah, this fight was rough. I'm talking about him a lot because like I think I had to retry this fight a couple times. Yeah, I just didn't realize how insanely potent he was. Crazy that they added just a dude immune to dark, so if you run into him, that's just a random enemy, not even a champion version or anything, you could lose. We're fairly likely to lose. Oh, and look, a scourge scarab. Scourge scarabs are a thing. They show up and just make your life worse. And I, unfortunately, like I was like, man, I need to kill him because otherwise I'm gonna lose. So I have to start focusing on the scourge scarab so I don't die to it. Which thankfully I am able to kill it, but then that guy gets to go and he dispels too, and like it's just overall very annoying. Thank goodness for Nezglekt. Like if this was a pure dark application only run, like that's all the only way I was doing damage, like I took the frog instead or something and wasn't doing mind damage, this would be impossible. Nezglekt's like the only one doing damage to him. The poison is starting to stack up. Thankfully I have some dispel with Mulaka, just because she starts with that. But it's a bit rough. So starting to stack up our deja vus though. We have the damage. I really want to heal up, but I have to kill him right now. Like that just seems to be my only option. Now what's really, really unfortunate is I wasn't really expecting to take too much damage in that fight, and there's a rabbit right afterwards, so I know the entire enemy team is going before me. Thank goodness Mulaka and the rest of the, like, I only lose Navalea. I knew I was gonna have to lose someone there, and yeah, this is really rough. Sorry, I didn't have to retry that fight prior. I had to retry this fight quite a few times to beat the rabbit at the right time, because the fight prior just set me up in a really, really bad situation, and I should have probably restarted it to get to a better situation, but it was so hard to deal with that scourge man. So this took quite a bit. Now thankfully, like, you know, we were able to get our mind twist upgraded. Like we got some good upgrades for the cards that we had. We have the super unholy storm. It's very nice to have a repeat, do basically heal your whole team, deal a bunch of damage with the dark application. Now we kept these curse of exhaustion, the curse of exhaustion round that disappears when we remove fast. I'm lowering the entire team speed because I realize that they're all going to lose their shackles. By the way, if we didn't draw that shackles card, we would have lost the run, because we wouldn't have been able to go before the entire team on round 2, and they would have just killed us because they were all going faster. So Zek's shackles card saved the day. And thankfully Nezglekt, the RNG was really nice to us here. We survive. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, surviving this fight was kind of luck. It's very possible we could have just died without any recourse, the way that our run was set up. Which, man, yeah, made me really upset about that guy who's immune to dark, because he just set us up in such a bad situation. But we're out of it. Reoccurring Nightmare I figured might be pretty good on Navalea. It's a really good card for applying dark over and over again. Here we're going towards the goblet section. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get some good goblets. We do thankfully get a nice little heal at a camp at this area. So I was like, oh, I can remove the Death's Door immediately. Crisis averted. We get a discount, but then I realize I have no money. I'm like, for every dark charge you apply bleed. That's not really that crazy, so it's fine. Like, it's nice to have the extra bleed, but it's not that important. Yeah. So far, dark application team is going further than ever before. Unholy Storm being upgraded, very nice. Just trying to stack up those wets. And I'm having Mulaka go first now, because if I can get her the 1 Inspire, then it doesn't matter if she goes after Nezglekt, because there's no point in like really giving her more Inspire or fixing her draw as much. So yeah, I'm hoping I can get Rain off essentially before Nezglekt goes, and then we can baptize the team and have a nice thing. Now the entire team goes stealth and they all have zeal. That scares me like a lot a bit. But This is why Nezglekt is amazing, because I was like, why did they all go off stealth? I'm like, right, every time I play a skill, because of his level 3 passive, I apply sight to the entire enemy team. So I was able to de-stealth them all, and thankfully we don't die here, and we get through the Zeal damage too, which I felt was really impressive. Yin Yang Bolt I wanted to try out too, because it scales based off of the dark applied to an enemy, and that seems really cool. Zek getting purple Endless Abyss does seem cool, but I'm gonna opt for the remove card. Did I opt for the remove card? I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't matter to us at all. But yeah, I don't think the Endless Abyss was gonna be too great on Zek, because I don't really have great ways of fixing his energy. No, that's not true. I could like give him energy. Oh, here the spider needs to die. Spider is really good against anything dealing like the insanity, mind, and holy damage stuff. Like it's just very, very annoying to deal with. So thankfully I'm able to kill it before it goes. It can't give the entire enemy team courage. Not that the resistances have been too bad, but yeah, look how much our dark explosions are doing. Like we are really, really like punking everybody we run into. Look at this, 3 meteorites, all 3 versions. It's very cool. So yeah, here I go for the removal. I was able to remove the Dark Outbreaks. I didn't feel like it was doing too much in Navalea's deck. I'm like debating removing Baptism, because I'm like, man, it's not really going off when I want it to. It's very hard to make work out. It's almost like my entire strategy was not built around this. Even though I am using Healing Rains on Mulaka so that I can have that regen to blow up the enemy. I'm like, oh, I could get a purple weapon. Now we get the level up here. Defiled Legacy, very, very good. For every energy used, apply 1 Decay, 1 Scourge, and 2 Dark to all enemies. Now Scourge, once I get Unholy Blight, Scourge is going to be able to stack, and it spreads 100% of the dark charges. So Scourge is going to be fantastic when she's level 5. The Decay, of course, is going to be lowering the resistances by an additional 8% per charge, which I think she has at least 1 in Decay, so 16% less shadow resistance. And then, of course, Dark to everything is great. So, fantastic level up for her. And it's every time she plays a spell, which she's doing fairly often. We have a few spells in her deck, at least. The Chosen One, it's a toss-up, honestly, whether I want to do Chosen One or the Fortune Favor, where you lower the highest cost card in somebody's deck, which like maybe I could have done with Zek and let him play his dream fantasy of having a purple Dark Outbreak, a 7 cost card that could just cost 0 instead. But the Chosen One is also very good, where you apply Insanity, Sight, and Vulnerability to all monsters, and you get the +1 Insanity charge, plus Nezglekt gets to make himself powerful. So I figured that was going to be more worthwhile. Mulaka, she just gets the vaccine. It's not really that special. Doesn't really do much for the run. Mulaka's level 4 sucks. Like, I'll just say it. It's just real bad. Like, it's... Yeah, no, it's just bad. Infestation here. So the next 6 curse cards we play, we get a curse card that transfers our curses to an enemy. Man, I just said curse way too much. So yeah. That's that. We have Unholy Storm, dealing good damage. Navalea was able to get her enchantment first turn, so we were able to apply Scourge and Decay to all monsters, which it looks like she only has 1 Decay charge. Damn. That would have been better if she had the 2. I was able to upgrade the Superstar, or the Deep Darkness card that Zek has, so I could double the dark on all monsters, which I'm hoping to use to kill more people, but man, are we looking hurt. I'm really going to need Mulaka to kill the rat that's going before Navalea and Zek, because I don't want to kill them yet, since they have some Insanity and Sight charges on them, and that can be used to heal the whole team. Mulaka doesn't quite get there, though. Thankfully, Zek survives at 2 HP. Navalea applying Scourge there just does so much damage. And we killed them. I know that I get a heal after this, so I wasn't too worried about going too low. Now, we get a few nice cards here. Mass Dispel and Meditate. It was hard to say which one I'd need, but I felt like Mass Dispel was going to be very useful. It's a skill for Nezglekt, so he can play it for 1 less energy, essentially. And we kind of need that. Dispel Magic would have been nice on Mulaka too, but I was feeling her damage was really good actually, so I wanted that. And then Icicle Barrage. Since I have an on-hit weapon and these all do frost and I have some frost upgrades, Icicle Barrage actually felt like it was going to be really good. So I was going to be able to slow people down without slow, which I think is starting to be necessary considering how fast all enemies are. And Death's Reach just seems like the perfect run or card for this run. It's 4 cost, so it's very expensive, but applies 15 dark, 3 vulnerability, and 2 scourge, as well as doing 24 shadow damage. So definitely works out. This is also a very good run. I'm like, man, I really want to get Black Deck, and do I get it on Navalea? No, you know what? I take it initially because I'm like, yeah, that's the right play. I'm like, no, wait, Continuum Blade. I am playing some melee attacks. I could draw for every melee attack I play instead, and that's honestly just going to be better. We get another chance at Sapphire Ring here too, and now that it's free, I can take that on Zek so that he can actually have a ring. Black Deck can very nicely go on Mulaka. Now, normally, like, it's actually not bad to get Black Deck on, what's it called? Nezglekt, but I didn't want to get it on him here because he has the staff already. So, yeah. We'll get curse cards. God, yeah. Black Deck will work every turn for Mulaka, so we'll see. Again, thankfully Zek doesn't die. We have that little bit of speed manipulation. I can speed him up to be fast enough. The frost was definitely becoming a concern here. My speed manipulation strategy was not planned for, so Frostland is kind of where the planning, I don't know, shows up. Thank God for Shadow Binding. As you can see, the rest of them were all going to go first on the next round, and now they're all going after us. So Shadow Binding was honestly the MVP card of this entire run. I think I would have lost like 3 times over if I didn't have Shadow Binding. Like, not exaggerating. So it showed up at the right times and did exactly what I needed to do. So I don't know. Maybe I would have lost 3 times over. Maybe I just would have had some more characters die and had to deal with that. But anyways, Shadow Binding came in clutch several times. I'm so grateful for it. Yeah. Speed manipulation. It's important. Should do it more. I'm like, I wanted to save the baptism till the beaver went so I could have more wet charges, but he was going too slow. So I do save it, but it's not going to be worth it because he's just going to die. It's very silly to do. Thankfully, Zek is applying enough frost to enemies, so you can see they're up to 50 frost to keep them slow on the next round as well. So the hammer is really working out. Jade Scarab, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to kill that. No problem. I have Unholy Storm. I have Death's Reach. There's the curse cards. They just apply Dark and Insanity to enemies, and Sight, I believe. No damage is dealt, which can be useful, can be bad. Depends on the situation. But yeah, at this point, I'm like really confident in the team. The Dragon, I don't think stands a chance. We're through the worst of the run, I believe, because I don't know why, actually. I don't know why I believe that. Maybe I don't really believe that. Yeah, Curse of Fragility. I'm debating whether I need another one on Navalea, but I don't really, and I don't want to pay gold to remove cards if I don't have to. Take a Shifting Scroll on Zek, because getting that Shackles card is very, very important sometimes. Nezglekt being the one stunned here is pretty rough. I messed up my play there, so I have to restart just very briefly, where I didn't play my enchantment. Because this is every time I play a card, I apply Dark. Ah, that's what this enchantment is. So it's not every time I hit, it's every time I play a card. Apply Dark to the random enemy. So she actually applies a fair amount of Dark with that enchantment. Sorry, I haven't been talking about that this whole time, but I have been playing around it in game, of course. There's my curse. I can double his Dark. We deal 1,000 damage immediately. Oh my god, we barely survived. Oh man, it's so rough, but thankfully we're able to go before him on round 2. Or rather, we can't yet, but I know Zek will be, or no, we didn't go before him round 2. That was the huge problem, is we actually weren't able to shackles him or slow him in any meaningful way. Like, we slowed him, but not enough. We didn't put enough frost on him. So yeah, we do round 2 him, but man, was that scary. Okay, so lots of exciting things here. Enrage is good. But Carnage is sweet because it's another way to apply vulnerability. Yeah, and I just wanted to get that going. Curse Nomicon, Master Spell, we take both of those. Golden Bell, I'm like, man, wasn't that the MVP card or item of the last run? Not really, because I had to replace it immediately. Freezing Ink is cool, but I already have better weapons on like all of my characters, so yeah. Our weapon setup is real good. Our ring setup could use some work. We have 2 good rings, like really good rings, but then we have 2 rings that aren't that good. So yeah, I do take Golden Bell on Malaka though. She is healing. Might as well have some Bless. Doesn't really hurt. And I do see that I can use the Corruption Orb on the Bell. This shop is a nightmare. Not because it's bad, but because it's good. Like, it's good and I can only afford one thing. And it hurts, because like, Archmage Book I think would be better on Navalea than the Continuum Blade, though it's debatable. That's not really the big thing here, though. The big thing is Cloak of Speed exists, so because I'm going Speed Manipulation, Cloak of Speed is the best item I could get. I'll let the run continue in a little bit here. Serenity Ring is for every regen you apply 1 shield. And I was like, man, we are getting so close to getting 1 shot like every round 2. Like, we're healing up to full, don't get me wrong, we're totally fine on that. But we have like 2 rings that need to be replaced on Mulaka and Nezglekt, and those are 2 rings that we need. Terror Ring is for every insanity charge you apply 1 dark, and Nezglekt's getting up to like 100 insanity by round 2 already, and he's going to be doing even better than that coming up soon. So this was painful. I took a break here. I took a while to decide, and then I eventually decided Cloak of Speed was the way we were going to win. Hadn't planned on Speed Manipulation, but I honestly should have. I had debated whether I was going to be able to do it or not, like trying out the dark run, and this was one of the I was like really intending not to do Speed Manipulation this run to see if I could just survive and then heal up. But yeah, the other option is to go full Speed Manipulation, which to do right is really hard because Nezglekt needs to be 13 speed, or can only be 13 speed at start, so you have to slow down the other team. It's a really difficult choice, but Cloak of Speed was definitely the right call there, even though Terror Ring is like really, really good for dark teams. And there, I removed Baptism. I could remove Healing Rain at this point in Nezglekt's deck, but I think I forget. I have Carnage I'm keeping around. It's the Carnage that wouldn't show up for Laya, of course. You know, it's gotta show up for the right Paladin. I was looking to see if Shadow Binding got any better. There's some cool upgrades I could get, but like I honestly didn't know what I wanted here, so I was like, push forward's probably the best thing I could get, especially for going full Speed Manipulation. Now I didn't feel like that made it so I could get rid of my Scroll of Speed. That's speeding one person up by 3, even though there's a chance that it could be useless if I draw push forward first turn. I felt like I needed the guarantee of having Speed Manipulation at this point. So, and then like the first challenge is like, hey, do you want to not be faster than everybody? I'm like, no, I'll die. I can't do that. I'm sorry. So, hey, we got Malaka going before everybody as well. It's pretty sweet. I'm trying to kill that cleric and back. These fights, I hope, won't be too difficult. I see a lot of holy guys here. So my main concern is the guy in back who's going to apply dark to my entire team. And he does, and they pop, and it's scary, but hey, look, what comes to the rescue yet again? Shadow Binding. Oh my gosh, we get to go first with everybody next turn. Fantastic. Oh, I should say, though, I think that guy is immune to... one of them didn't get Shackles. I forget why. He might be immune to Shackles or something. But I had to slow him down with some other slows. It was weird. Maybe he was just buffered, probably. But yeah. So yeah, that was a... Again, I feel like I got just the right amount of resistances and health on everybody to be able to survive these turns. But it worked out, so yeah. If you do end up getting here on this run, and you opt for like just gold and shards instead, I hope your decks are better than mine. And that your strategy is better than mine in terms of going first and exploding everybody, because you'll need it to be. Otherwise, you'll just be popped and die. I am able to pick up an upgraded Master Spell there, so that's great. That'll stay in Nezglekt's deck. I go to the shop. I wish I could buy like a purple Cloak of Speed or a Reprisal or any of these things. Here's another like Speed Manipulation thing. I'm like, man, I survived the last one basically. I had to survive a whole turn. maybe I can do this. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I need the extra golden shards for reasons. Honestly, the extra shards are going to be useful for upgrading my cards next act, which I am hoping to do. And then I know I need to remove a few cards too. Like I want to get rid of potentially one of the master spells I have, because I have like 3 now, 1 on Mulaka and 2 on Nezglekt. So I feel like it's a little bit overkill. And if they're master spelling, they're not dealing damage. Shadow Binding, again, showing up round 1. Oh, fantastic. Like, I am giving Nezglekt a fair bit of draw with helping hands and stuff, but really, he's just pulling it out. It's been incredible. And yeah, we're able to heal up to full. Mulaka and Nezglekt doing huge Mulaka and Zek doing our huge damage. Zek's definitely doing the most at this point, but Mulaka is like no slouch either, and she's healing up the entire team while she's doing it. Dark Outbreak, I'm like, man, I would have taken you ages ago. There's another Deja Vu. I'm super excited to have another Deja Vu. I'm like, man, you know what I can get here? I can get a purple Deja Vu, and we get 3 free uses of the Corruption Bell. I'm like, dude, this is exciting. It's worth at least trying once on a Deja Vu, you know? Like 70% chance, I'll make it 80% chance. Failed. Comes a void memory. I'm like, surely the 50-50's got to work out. Nope. I got rid of both my Deja Vus. I'm hoping to find another. But I'm like, man, that doesn't work out, does it? So Nezglekt's whole strategy of scaling is in the dumps now, and it's not going to happen. So at this point, I get free charges, so I'm just trying to scale whatever I don't think is absolutely necessary in my deck. So I'm like, man, Cursenomicon, sure, yeah, let's just purple like all this stuff. Mass Dispel. You know what would be great is a Mass Dispel that gives a bunch of buffer and dispels 5. Why not? Clarity is not really worth it, but there's a lot here. And I failed with Nezglekt. Was that a Shifting Scroll? Yeah, I failed with Shifting Scroll in Zek's deck. I'm like, man, this sucks. Now we are going to get a free top tier shop coming up because we captured a farmer and we have Nezglekt. So we're adding to the Nismo's crew. I guess it's like a somewhat rare event, like if you don't take Nezglekt to this exact spot. But this is arguably better than the chest reward if you just get the key and go to the center of the map. Because you get to take all the items for free rather than just 4 items from a chest. So yeah, we nearly die here. I think I had to retry this fight a few times. I got lucky in the fact that we survived, but that was lucky. Like, yeah, there was a path on this fight. Like, I think I retried this fight like 3 times, and it took a while to figure out how to kill the enemies and survive, and everybody just barely survives, which is totally fine because like we'll heal up to full. I'm not worried about it. We have Sanctify up the wazoo on people. Like we just have to hit, and Mulaka's gonna heal, so it's totally fine. But man, was that scary. I do need to wipe out one of these guys before they go, because I'm like fairly certain they're gonna kill Mulaka. I need to slow them too. But I am able to do that with Zek, because he applies Frost on hit, thanks to that hammer. That hammer applying Frost and Dark on hit is so sweet. So yeah, we are able to take that out. That was a really long fight. It was very tough, and then like I realized that Void Crush is a card. Void Crush reads deal X hammer, X shadow, X equals your missing health. So however much health you're missing, it does that damage. The big thing though is it applies 5 Scourge and it stays in your deck. It does hit the front monster initially, but it also applies 6 Dark, and yeah, I think it can hit other monsters if you upgrade it. Blizzard, I'm like tempted, but no, I wanted Mana Gem on Zek. I needed the energy. So this is like a fairly disappointing Nismo's shop, because everything in here we can get for free. Like we can get all of this stuff, but yeah, I don't really need it. Retaliator, I'm debating whether I want Retaliator on Mulaka or whether I want it on Nezglekt. It does deal mind damage. It's not really too big of a factor though. So I get on Nezglekt because he's just been taking a little bit more and getting to survive, and then I get the Crusader helmet on Mulaka, so we have a little bit better resistance there. We got the Madness ring at least on Nezglekt, so he can apply Sight more easily. And then Mulaka didn't have a ring, so I figured 15 HP wasn't going to hurt. Plus 1 more buffer charge isn't bad, even though she's not using the shield at all. So we're at least a lot more tanky than before, and we do have more Sight application now. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether I could do this or not. I was curious about the rare shop though, because I felt very disappointed by that last shop that we got, and who knows if when I'm gonna get another shop again. There's only 2 more ground fights after this, where I could even have the potential of having a shop afterwards with a challenge. So I have some money left over. I might as well use that gold that I earned earlier. Which actually, oh man, does that come into play? That might come into play. We'll see. We'll see what the shop gives. I have probably just enough money to afford like 1 good item, and that's about it. So we have Cursonomicon here. Again, play Cursonomicon first. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid to play it afterwards. I think I need to restart this fight. Like, I could have potentially survived if I played Cursonomicon and then attacked with Zek, because then he could have healed, right? Like, I think that was the case. Yeah. So yeah, there's this fight not going entirely to plan. I think I have kind of a rough draw here, though. Navalea doesn't draw any of her enchantments. Nezglekt doesn't get any of his enchantments. Malaka, of course, gets her opening enchantments, but like honestly, it's probably just more of a curse than an enchantment. It just applies regen to like herself and powerful and stuff, and like that's not that good. Maybe it does it to the entire team. I can't remember. Even if it does, it's not that good. Yeah, there we go. I'm able to kill the guy and back. It's very useful, and Zek survives, so he doesn't die. I think I played Cursonomicon at the right time again, though, or sorry, at the wrong time again. So very stupid. But now that we're able to attack, like, Malaka is healing everybody up. We have Holy Storm. We got purple Holy Storm, by the way, from the bell. Because, honestly, I just didn't feel like I have a lot of energy with Malaka. So I only wanted to play it once per fight anyways. And it's very good at purple. It does its 6 energy cost, or effect, at 4 energy instead. One of the more efficient purples in the game. It's weird how purples work sometimes. Curse of Shadows tends to not be super useful here. So I'm like opting not to do it. Now here's the Cursonomicon coming into play. We have the Deep Darkness like for free. We just shackled these guys so we don't have to worry about them again. Like, fight's going real well. This guy's got a lot of block though, so we're not actually able to hit him, which is a little bit unfortunate because Malaka applies most of her dark on hit, but Zek's able to get it done. Now there's an upgraded Void Crush. There's a Death Coil where I'm like, hey, this thing applies Scourge. Like, you lose some HP when you do it, but it also applies Frost, and might as well do that, right? Another Void Crush, but I have 1, so I'm going to go with Monogem, because I felt like I really need the Monogem. Shadow Binding, as great as it's been, I'm not going to need it for too much longer. Now, if this shop had been the Tianismo shop, my goodness, would this have been amazing. Look at this shop. This shop's insane. Like, absolutely incredible. 1, there's Pious Ring, so we could get... Sorry, like, Pious Ring is like the least important item here, but it's still, like, good. Gives you +2 Sanctify charges, +6% to all resistances, which Malaka doesn't really have a good ring right now. Like, her ring is giving her +1 buffer. That's not really that useful. But the +2 Sanctify charges, because she has the other Sanctify thing, I could get, like, 100 Sanctify on enemies, like, within 1 turn. It'd be great. Emerald Staff, of course, is amazing. Purple, at least. Every turn, reduce the highest cost spell in your hand by 3 until discarded, and that's with spells that cost more than 3, but like most of our characters have that, so fantastic. Cursed Daggers, the on-hit dark application, which is great and would have been better with Navalea if I had given her 1 more dark application and then 2 just didn't have a decent weapon already, and then 3 you could afford it, but at this point, like, Terror Ring. It's got to be Terror Ring. Like, it's the best dark application in the game. It goes with Insanity and Dark. I'm looking at all my cards, looking at all my options. I do have that Sight instead of for every Sanity charge I apply, which is like one of the cool things I got from last shop. I'm like, yeah, no, it's Terror Ring all day. So this fight took me over an hour and a half. It was a very, very rough fight. I think I said I had a rough time on the fight last time with the Holy Warriors, which is true. But, like, I think I said I took an hour, but I was actually remembering this fight with my Dark team. This fight took, I think, an hour and a half. Like, I came back and I like I went to the grocery store and came back, and like I did this fight after like I had thought it all through, and that break ended up being just what I needed to finish the fight, because I think I tried this 6 or 7 times at least. The major problem was if Law of Light got on my characters, which the Holy Guy does on round 2, I couldn't deal enough damage to the Shadow character, because applying Dark takes several cards to the point where they explode, and they'd basically just heal up all the damage I would do. And I was net neutraling or net like losing damage on the Shadow guy. So I have to attack into the Light Warrior here. There's no other option. Now, thankfully, he does have Sanctify on him, so I can attack with whoever's attacking them, but like I can't make everybody go too low, otherwise we'll die. So here's a failed attempt, and it's a failed attempt because I forgot Reprisal exists. So yeah, you can see the struggle. I left 2 of my defeats in here because I wanted to show sort of how my process got better. Like my first one was initially very terrible. This one is better. Or the second one was better, and then this one is the one that we actually used to win. And I was like, at this point, like an hour and a half in, I'm not even hoping to like have all my characters survive. I'm just hoping to be able to win. If I could win with one character, that's enough for me. I was really worried that these guys were just the end of the Dark application run, like even being possible. There is one thing that I should have done. Like it would have made a difference in terms of surviving this fight. But in the Act 4 shop, I should have bought the Anthem of Hope for for Nezglekt, because it's a skill card. It applies Courage to all allies, and it also applies 1 Inspire to all allies if you get the Energy Cost 2 version. Which Nezglekt, gosh, I'm messing up their name so much. He gets a +1 Inspire buff as his level 5, among other things. So you can give 2 draw to your entire team, and that's absolutely incredible. And it gives you Courage so you don't get popped by Dark, which, you know, the final boss is all about applying damage with Holy, Dark, and Mind. So yeah, would have been really good to have an Anthem of Hope here. Might have been even okay in this fight for just tanking the, what's it called, a little bit better. But yeah, here Navalea dies, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Success. That guy's down to 300 HP. We have Law of Light on us. That's not too bad. Oh wait, we have Law of Light on us. I don't think we can win. Yeah, if you have Law of Light on you, I think you already lose. Shoot, is that the case? No, I felt like this was the one I won, right? Yeah, this is the one I won. Oh, but this time I have Nezglekt alive. That's what it was. So, oh, but no, Nezglekt dies. Yeah. Oh, I guess like here's where I'm just gonna show it. Yeah, here's Law of Light. We have a bunch of Dark application, right? But it just doesn't matter. We get him down a ton, but like, he's just surviving. This is a loss for sure. Yeah, because like we can't attack him this round, and this round he guarantees kills at least Mulaka, if not both my characters. So yeah, this is also a loss. I guess I showed 3 of my losses. Man, I was really salty about this guy. Like, you have to understand, I spent like over an hour fighting this, almost 2 hours honestly. And my hopes and dreams of Dark application becoming like a viable build seemed dashed all because of one boss fight at the end, and that was killing me. Like it hurt me deep inside. So yeah, obviously I have no way of winning. This guy's just healing back up. Like I can attack him all I want and take the Dark explosions, it's fine, but eventually he's just gonna kill me with his shield charge and block combo. It's so stupid. Yeah. So the only way that I was able to win with Dark application, and I like honestly with a speed investment team, I think this problem gets worse, because like this isn't a problem you fix with speed manipulation. This is a problem you fix with raw damage. You just need to kill the first guy before he's able to go on round 2, which means you have to attack into the shield or the retaliation a lot more. And like these guys are the challenge for this run. I don't think there's any, like, yeah, I don't think there's any other fight that was nearly as hard. Well, I know there's no other fight that was nearly as hard. Now we do have shadow binding, which is nice. So we can make sure that everybody goes first round 2. Also, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on here in terms of strategies or things that I had to figure out. There's my dark application getting applied randomly. Here's Void Crush. I have to make this go off. That's 500 damage. Very, very good. And it applies 5 Scourge, so now he's going to be taking more damage for every other hit. I do draw cards on melee attack, so it might be worth doing this extra melee attack, but I opt not to. Because Malaka barely survives, even when I do it now, and I need Malaka to hit this guy. I'm like worried that I need to use Night Terror on the guy in back just to survive the Law of Light, but here I'm opting just to get as much sight and stuff as I can applied, as well as Insanity applied. That way Malaka can hit. I guess I expect Zek to die. Like, no, because Malaka applies darkness when she hits, so she's actually good at keeping Zek alive here. That's what saved him. Yeah, so, God, that took a lot of planning and figuring out, and like I was able to speed manipulate to make sure this guy died. Navalea dies here, and I'm like, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, that's the least of my concern when I've been dying to this guy the entire time. At this point, I'm pretty sure all I need is is Mulaka and Zek, and I just need Nezglekt to survive enough to the point where I what's it called? Have him soak up this huge hit from the shadow guy. Now we can attack into him kind of. Like, here's the curse card being very clutch in that it doesn't apply or it doesn't cause damage. Nezglekt even survives the hit. I'm not even sure why, actually. Like, I don't think he had any right to survive that hit, but he did. And yeah, now it's game over. Like, now I can attack this guy freely this turn. Curse of Weakness, of course, doesn't apply. But I do have double darkness. It's going to do a ton of damage. I think it was like 300 there. And I have all these free curses that I got thanks to the Grimoire. So yeah, Nezglekt finishes it off. And boy, was that... Oh man, I felt so good after finally beating that fight, because like, that was disheartening as heck, man. Like, it was... I was pretty sure it was game over. Here's Endless Abyss, non-purple. Do I get on Zek now? I still don't think it's worth it on Zek, because it doesn't really make sense. Necropotence, I really want to try, but it doesn't really feel like it's going to be that good, because Powerful I'm not really banking on. Vanishing cards, like, I don't know what cards I'd even want to vanish from Zek's deck. And getting the energy is like, cool, I can just get some energy back that I used to play this card. So I opt for Encyclopedia instead. Here we get Unholy Blight. So now Scourge on enemies is going to stack and spread 100% of the dark charges. The spreading is cool, but not that useful in the final fights. The stacking, incredible. I feel like that's what's going to make the final fight possible. There's the plus 3 sight, plus 1 inspire. And maybe that's why I wasn't counting on Nezglekt's sight going up super high. Like, I should have, because I was going to get plus 3 sight, which is crazy. But yeah, Malaka's going to get plus 2 more dark and more damage done. So should be able to hit more of the time. And then Zek gets plus 2 dark, and he also makes it so that they take 1% more damage for every dark charge they have on them. And then this boss fight reward is insanely good. Destiny, I feel like I need it because Navalea has been having energy problems. Mirror Cassandra, probably one of the best things in the game. Mulaka is able to upgrade her armor, and Nezglekt didn't have a good potion to begin with, so I think I want to go towards the top end to gain back the HP that I lost, despite the fact that I don't know, it looks like a slightly more difficult fight, and I kind of wanted to see what the pink gem offered in case it did something new. Normally it's pretty worthless, because it just gives you a bonus in the very next fight, which is not the boss fight. So I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So yeah, these fights up here, I don't think they're as much of they're not like a cakewalk, but they're definitely very doable in comparison to the Guardians fight that we just had. And you see with like 5 Scourge, that Angel, or it is a Holy Angel, so it doesn't have resistance to Dark. They took a ton of damage. They spread their Dark charges. They're blowing up everybody around them. Yeah, we are now officially dealing good damage. And I'm even able to slow down the light guy enough to be slower than the rest of my team. So the speed manipulation is working out. I don't really have to worry about getting disarmed or anything by the front guy. He does resist Shadow the best, but like we are plunging through like all the resistances that these guys have. They have no chance. It feels pretty good. Now Purple Entomb seemed interesting to me. Deep Darkness is also interesting to me, but Demonic Tutor is probably better than Purple Entomb. Purple Entomb is still just not that good. Meditate's also probably better than Purple Entomb. I just don't think Entomb's that good. It is only discard, and you can apply a lot of dark that way, but it seems, I don't know. I feel like it needs to do more. Times 7 is decent, but I feel like that's on a failing dark build is when I'd want this. Endless Abyss on Navalea now makes sense because I have Destiny, where things cost 4 less, so a 3 cost Endless Abyss feels a lot better. Demonic Tutor on Mulaka is going to feel good, and another Deep Darkness for Zek. If I can get that upgraded so that it stays in the deck, or if I just have 1 Deep Darkness that stays in the deck, even though it only targets 1 monster, I'll feel a lot better. Finally, I can get rid of all those Void Memories and the Death Stower, and my decks are looking way better now. Get rid of Mulaka's Mass Dispel because I really need her on Dark Application duty, and I get rid of the Shackles card because the clones, yeah, the clones can't be shackled. For the boss, for the final boss. Void Crush I do want to upgrade so that I can target a monster. Fortunately, that's not too bad. Looking around to see if I want to upgrade anything else by this point. Like Black Karmas, like wouldn't hurt to upgrade them really, unless I got it in my deck. But yeah, Void Crush. It also felt like maybe hitting the first monster would be fine. We seem to be getting rid of enough people fast enough. Getting a Mass Dispel that applies buffer might be good. I might want to go for the strategy rather than defeating the clone to buffer out the debuffs they're going to do. I very wisely made sure Nezglekt's card, I initially had them all vanishing, the mind cards, but I made sure that they don't vanish because I don't have any Deja Vus left in my deck. I had 2 and I lost 2 on a gamble, and you know, not all my gambling paid off this run, but I guess enough of it did. And now Nezglekt having 2 Inspire does feel really good. I wanted to upgrade Mass Dispel just so that I had the buffer in case I needed it, because I was unsure of my ability to kill the clone. Really depended on my draws. So we're going to be going into the final fight. Void Crush being a 1-cost card now is really nice. Hitting the front monster again doesn't feel that bad. And it does more or less the same damage. The same Scourge application. Yeah, gosh, that dark applying everywhere. So good. Yeah, so for a little bit, I was upping Mulaka speed so that we had heals. I was upping Nezglekt speed so that we could fix decks, and now I'm upping Zek's speed mainly so we can apply Frost and speed manipulate the other people. So that Nezglekt and Mulaka can potentially go before most of them do. So, yeah, a lot of times for Scroll of Speed to work out. More Shadow Bindings, don't need them of course, it's too late for that. The one good thing I do get here is a Cursed Nomicon. Death's Reach is cool too, but I already have one and it's really expensive, I can't afford to. So, yeah, don't need a Shadow Binding, despite how clutch it's been for me all game. Including in the Guardians fight, by the way. Ended up being very, very good. Like, without it, I would have lost for sure, because I had no way to slow them down on round 2 without attacking both of them. And to attack both of them would have gotten me killed. So, yeah, the shackles in that fight were incredible. I get rid of one of the curses in Zek's deck, or Navalea's deck? I don't know. Well, it doesn't, because I didn't feel like I needed it. Get rid of one of Mind Blast for Nezglekt. Felt like he was doing more than enough insanity and not doing too much damage, and I finally get rid of one of the decay cards for Malaka, because I guess I worried about that card hitting the front, but not Void Crush. A little hypocritical of me. Whoops. Oh yeah, I also upgraded my Scroll of Intellect to purple, which is really nice, because like that changes the card from a, I don't know, like a +1 and +1 energy on a friendly to a don't lose one card at all, gain 2 energy on your friendly, and they get another draw. So it's like, I don't know. Purple Scroll of Intellect's incredible. One of the best purples in the game for sure. I think I've talked about that in the past, but man, it doesn't feel good. Cassandra's Mirror is doubling every card that I play. Unfortunately, I don't have a really good target for this boss fight on round 1 for Nezglekt. Honestly, just giving Zek more energy and more draw was the best I could do. But I am giving him 4 draw, so Nezglekt's plus on Inspire is really clutch for these final fights. He does a really good job being a support. Cursonomicon being purple, I do not make the mistake this time of activating it after I attack, because it makes way more sense to activate it first. And then I want to use the Deep Darkness that doesn't disappear, so I have Deep Darkness left in my deck. Unfortunately, like, I'm trying to figure out a way to slow them all down as much as possible, but it's very difficult. Curse of Torment's able to hit that boss. I want to slow him down with Frost, but I'm not able to do that. So, no more rounds of pets going off. It was nice while it lasted. Not necessary, though. And we're in the final stages. This fight is a bit challenging, though. I actually had to redo this fight 3 times as well. It didn't take me nearly as long. I want to say I spent like 15 minutes on this fight. That was largely due to round 5, I want to say, of the boss. The clones I was able to deal with, not as fast as I would have liked, but fast enough. I fortunately got some Deep Darknesses from the Cursonomicon, which is really cool. And so yeah, you can see there with Scourge we're applying enough dark on everybody. And we're doing just a ton of damage. Probably should have Death Coiled, but I wasn't sure how much energy I was going to have. And the dude does have 62 sight on him, so I can understand wanting to hold off on that. But yeah, since Scourge can stack, having my Dark Explosions do even more is better. I kept the clone around again because I want to do damage to the clone, or I want to use the clone for bouncing attacks. So I'm mainly focusing on the boss right now because I'm sure the clone's going to die before, before he gets to go. And at this point, they all have enough frost on them that they're going slow. So Malaka had buffer on her, so I was able to use the slow on her. Giving her the extra draw from the Inspire doesn't do anything. It would be the same as if I didn't have the passive, but honestly, for what it was, I think it was worth it for Malaka to have the 1 Inspired draws her 1 extra card for the majority of the run. Unfortunately, Zek does pop the clone a little bit too quickly, but it's not the end of the world. We're dealing lots of damage here. Feels really good. Oh yeah, sorry, it's round 3. It's round 3 that he just does this kill. That was what the huge pain was. I have to do the rest of the fight without Zek. There is no saving him. This is where the courage would have come in super clutch, because I'm pretty sure if he had a little bit more resistances, I could have found a way to make him live. But what that guy does is he applies fire to everybody, like quite a bit, and then he transforms that all into dark, and that just, I don't know. Zek did not have the HP and the resistances to deal with it, so he just dies, and I have to deal with a Death's Door for the next fight. There's no way around that. There's the Destiny Endless Abyss combo, being really nice. Nezglekt's getting some good damage in there too. Navalea, unfortunately, I'm not really dealing too much damage with her. Like, I wanted her to be kind of a carry, but she definitely was just a better support for the Dark team than I thought she was going to be. So leaning into that seemed good. And I think Zek and Malaka are always going to have the advantage on applying Dark. But she, of course, has the advantage on applying Scourge. So yeah, we're in the final fight now. And this one... Gosh, I'm remembering this. Pretty sure I did this in 1 try. Yeah. This is definitely a one-try sort of fight. A weird case of the final boss not being too bad. I wanted to banish Zek's Death's Door, but I think I missed it with banish on Nezglekt. It was a little bit unfortunate. Now that Deep Darkness does get reduced in cost permanently. I just pointed to it on screen as if you could see me. So that is going to be a permanently free Deep Darkness as well. Very nice to have. I know I probably need to kill this guy by like round 5 because this team doesn't seem to have the same durability as my previous team did, where I killed him like round 9 or gosh, maybe beyond that. But yeah, unfortunately, like round 5 is when he'll be dark. He's gonna he's gonna have this same resistances. So this is when he's the most resistant to dark. I was saving Night Terror, by the way, to double with the Guardian Shield. So my plan is to use Night Terror to its fullest and then use it again in another turn. Which is working pretty well because we got up to 94 sight. I'm looking to see if I can get any more sight on him before I go. I got a lot of options here. It's round 2. I know I'm going to be able to slow him enough with the Icicle Barrage so that he definitely doesn't go first. And we can at least apply energy to people. And that was a good like 400, 500 damage from that dark application. Not bad. I'll definitely take it. So it's not like too crazy. But here is where Scourge stacking starts to do work. I mean, it was doing work in the last fight too, don't get me wrong. That was the only reason we were able to kill off a Handshake who has like, I want to say like 75 or something dark or shadow resist. It's kind of ludicrous how anti-shadow these guys are. The Holy Team definitely has a much easier time with them in terms of their base resistances. Though this guy has like normal resistances all around, it just depends on what phase he's in. Yeah. So, I know it's probably going to be a more long haul fight. Thankfully, I have the Mass Dispels to do the long haul fight. And Infestation's nice for applying curses to, or applying my debuffs to the enemy. Like, Zek stacks so much dark on himself that I'm going to be able to, like, throw my 18 dark that I have on me onto him. Or 21 dark, I should say. Oh yeah, because every time I hit him, I apply dark to myself. Like, it's very rough. I'm hoping to get rid of my weakness too, so I can actually deal more damage. And like, I'm doing like 400, 500 damage with some of this stuff, or with the dark explosions at this point, just because of that Scourge that he has stacked on him, which is super sweet. As well as my cards themselves are just dealing like really good damage. Yeah, he's taking 566 damage from like dark explosions. Again, like before, I think it was like maybe you could get to like 200 damage max with dark explosions, and that was it. So this is a huge quality of life change, and I'm so happy that this run actually works. Here I'm able to dispel the weakness on Zek because he's actually dealing damage with his cards. I'm playing these sads too because I figure might as well. This isn't really the worst turn for my characters. Now I do have like on hit effects which the evasion messes with, but applying dark doesn't really get affected by this phase. So like I am still able to pop his dark and like deal good damage. And if I can just survive this one round, I'm pretty sure I win. Yeah, no, it's feeling good. Definitely not as tanky. I definitely don't think I'd survive into round 9. I think his next phases would just do too much. I get another Endless Abyss off, which is cool. Had another Night Terrors off. But yeah, at this point, like it's good. Yeah, sorry. The decay on him also lowering his shadow resist is working nicely. I have massive spells there. I don't really need. Mulak is healing up the whole team. Mulak is definitely a better healer in the late game than Nezglekt, even with like max insanity and max sight stacks. But here I'm like hoping Zek can get the job done. Doubling darkness, getting up to max. We're doing so much damage. All right. Didn't get the job done, but I had enough buffer to survive this, and I'm pretty sure everybody else just does it. And instead, he actually just kills himself because he transforms everything into darkness, which he had way too much Sanctify on him to transform into darkness and survive. So yeah, that was the that was the run. Zek had to die at the end. Let's look at this dark damage distribution here. Mulaka actually ended up doing more dark damage than Zek did, which is really cool to see. I mean, she was applying more of it for more of the time, but not much more of the time, honestly. Zek, however, did do 5,000 more direct damage, so overall he did do more damage than Mulaka. But still, that was pretty good. And then Navalea actually did about 15,000 damage as well, and Nezglekt was doing, yeah, 14,000. So, really, really good. Yeah, I'm happy with the way this team turned out. Like I said, they're all kind of carries and supports. They barely had enough heals to make it through, and enough resistances to survive so they could get healed, but they definitely needed the healing. Mulaka did end up doing more healing by Nezglekt in the end. Yeah, and then I feel like a lot of that's in the late game too. The Nezglekt was just the more consistent healer throughout. But yeah, wow. Zek took the most damage. Of course Zek took the most damage because he was blowing himself up the most. I'm like, how did that happen? Yeah, that's how that happened. He just, oh man. Great run. Wasn't sure this was going to be possible. So happy that it was. Here you can take a look at the rest of my decks here and the items and cards I had. Definitely not like all the best items that I could have gotten, but most of these are guaranteed. I only had to try 2 runs of this as well, which was pretty cool. Worked out much better than I expected, and that is that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had a great time. If you could leave a like and please subscribe if you enjoy the content, that would help me out a lot. Let me know that you'd like to see more of these videos. Otherwise, wherever you are, I hope you have a great day or night or weekend or whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye.